If you missed the last time these two titans squared off, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm delighted to reveal we've got something of a revenge match, only with completely different races. You probably won't even recognize these guys. Apparently they're called the Protoss. It's been a while since they've been on this channel. I believe that supply structure is called a pylon. Not sure how it works, but we'll figure it out. The APL supply structure is called a fusion generator. No bells, no whistles, just like a Terran supply depot. UED Commander has kindly confirmed for us APL stands for Atlantic Powers League. And the change was indeed to differentiate from the UED, the United Earth Directorate. Gateway goes down, followed by the assimilator. Then there's that scout. But our APL players queuing minerals. Is anyone shocked to see that Asur's going greedy? Not me. And there it is, it's a headquarters first build for the APL. Can I just say though, the real superstar of this matchup just might be the map itself. I was so thrilled to see a custom game on Golden Wall. I don't know if Golden Wall's ever given us a dull game. There's just a whole other level of strategy with the back door. It's an observer's nightmare because you never know when one of the players is going to start mining those backdoor minerals or going for a gold base. Protoss gets the scout, sees that double billet going down, but he also sees that early headquarters. That tells him he needs to get a move on and get his own natural going, though I'm sure that's just his build, not a reaction. Our Protoss player may have the mad skills of Nyb, but he's not. He's Nyb!
Time for battle.
Our APL player remains undefeated on this channel. No, he's not a software company, but he is the one and only Asur!
Bring it!
Only now has Asur gotten his first gas. Thus far, he's gone pure minerals. Cybercore down for Nyb. Asur now making combat infantry 2 at a time. That unit has now morphed into your basic marine. Costs 50 minerals, does 5 damage. Has 50 health. If that sounds familiar, you probably know why. Core completes. Does Protoss have a tech choice for us? But so far, the choice has been economic. Nyb has gone for the quick third. Who's greedy now? Double exhumers are gas getters for Nyb now. He's matched the Protoss in terms of gas production. But Nyb's double expansion could give him an edge. Hold that thought. Nyb tries to send his probe for an additional scout and he gets denied. It's a first blood for Asur. This causes Nyb to chrono boost a stalker. Oh, and he does have a tech choice. It's gonna be a robo. Not sure why. Maybe he decides he needs an observer. Or he saw bio and decides he wants to tech up to Colossi maybe. Regardless, Asur's pushing out with his combat infantry. He's taking the shortest path along the Golden Wall. Only one stalker available to Nyb. He's trying to get a second one. It's a little more firepower than Nyb was ready for. Looks like he's gonna try to use his superior range to kite. Oh, but it's not working. He retreats to his natural. Second stalker almost ready. Warp gate research not yet available. That takes 100 seconds. Double emergency shield batteries, but those take 30 seconds. But the Sim City of it slows Asur down. He snipes one, he snipes two. Asur realizes this is now a one-way trip. He's going for workers. Probes are gonna fight back. Nyb with the hold. Oh, but there's 2 more sneaking in. They will get cleaned up. Nyb's gonna get the hold here. But that was costly. Looks like 8 worker kills, and that's gonna put Asur ahead by 13 workers. Nyb's gonna have to chrono boost like crazy if he wants to make that up. Meanwhile, Asur has his manufacturing facility. Let's just call it a factory. That's how he gets his mech. And he's also switched his troopers to heavy gunners. That's gonna let him do that extra damage against those armored stalkers. Which is the perfect call, because that's what's headed to his doorstep right now. Nyb's also working on a warp prism. That can be fun. Remember, this is Golden Wall. You can drop your units in lots of places your opponent can't get to. Oh, Asur's putting comm stations behind his mineral lines. More about that in a second. Nope, Nyb's wisely backing off here. The comm station's a detector, but the real reason you make it is that everything within range gets a 15% speed boost, and that includes your workers. And that's why you're gonna see Asur putting it in his mineral lines. But it has a spell too. It's called Command Link, and essentially what it does is it chrono boosts everything around it. The headquarters started glowing light blue because it's got a 25% increase to its production speed. And that, my good sir, is how you macro Atlantic style. TR-17 is out. The Stalkers are not gonna like it if it sieges up. Remember, it can even move while it's sieged, just not very fast. If it's not sieged, it doesn't attack at all. And Immortals in production, I think that's definitely the right answer against TR-17s. The hardened shield to survive the hits, the bonus damage against armor to take them out. Though the TR-17 is not a big problem if it's stuck on move command. Nyb picks up a choice kill there. The heavy gunners are gonna try to fix the problem. Oh, but Nyb's gonna show off that he can warp prism juggle. We are in for a bit of a treat here, people. And with that forward shield battery, you gotta like Protoss's position. Even armies, though Nyb's still way behind on workers, even with that third base he hasn't been able to catch up. And thanks to those comm stations, you know that Azure's mining a lot more. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. The warp prism just slips onto the other side of the wall. There's nothing Azure can do about it. Unless he's making an air unit, which he is. He's ahead of me. He's finished an airstrip, and he's using it to make a Raptor jet. That's exactly what he needs here. It's just not ready, and Protoss is gonna slip in. There's only a single electrostatic turret here. That's not nearly enough to hold with an Immortal present. Oh, he used Comlink on his turret. That's why it's turning light blue. It's not cloaked. It's gonna get plus 25% attack speed and then plus 2 range. Between the buff and its beefiness, it looks like that was just enough for it to hold on long enough for the TR-17 to arrive. Nyb wisely picks up and gets out of there. That was very cool. I'd never seen that done before. You saw it on this channel first, people. A direct linked electrostatic turret. Azure's gonna celebrate his cleverness by going for those gold patches. But not if Nyb has anything to say about it. I think that Immortal has that TR-17's number. Sentry's gonna send a hallucinated scout to see what he can see. Oh, there's a rocket trooper in that biopack. No sign of any upgrades for him yet, though. Nyb's gonna use his warp prism to warp in a zealot. He doesn't have the zealot legs upgrade yet, though, so it's not quite the mech killer that it's destined to become. Azure tries to build a defensive wall, but I don't think Nyb's gonna wait. Oh, this is good. There's 2 TR-17s here. Guardian shield goes up. All incoming ranged attacks reduced by 2. Oh, it's pretty even. It looks like some mutually assured destruction going on here. Oh, warp prism arrives and reinforces with 2 extra Immortals. They're gonna take out the last TR-17. But another one arrives. Azure enjoying the defender's advantage. This is right next door to his production facilities. That Raptor jet was too late for the warp prism last time, but not this time. He is going hunting. He's an air-to-air killer. Oh, he gets it full payload. There were 2 Immortals inside. The Raptor only gets credited with a single kill, but you and I know better. And then he sends the Raptor off to what I assume is scouting. It doesn't shoot down, so you can't really use it as a harass unit. For that, you want the ever-popular Osprey. But if you want to blow a warp prism out of the sky, the Raptor jet is your man. Or woman. I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to fighter jets of death. So Azure will spot this third. I wonder if he'll really know how long it's been up for, though. It just kind of looks like a new base because gas is just being added now. Stalkers are going to chase off that Raptor jet. There's not a lot the Raptor can do to defend itself here. Clearly, Azure forgot to get that thing a parking permit. And Nyb is obviously very fussed about those sorts of things. Yep, Azure's gonna find that little piece of dead space where the Stalkers can't reach. That actually has some value. He's tying up 3 Stalkers who are just sitting there waiting for him. Meanwhile, he's gonna finish that wall. This time there's gonna be an electrostatic turret in it. But it's really the TR-17s behind it that are scary. Plus, he's adding another comm station. I like that. I think you should have a comm station next to every one of your HQs. It costs you 75 minerals, 100 gas, and 1,000 totally worth it points. Just build them, people, and tell them Zug sent you. Azure also has his third up and running, with comm station and electrostatic turret. He's already shown us what a good combo that is. But as you may know from the last APL game that I cast, there are deadlier turrets available. Oh, there's a Condor. It is a super slow dropship with a huge cargo capacity. Azure has loaded it to bear with bio, and he's gonna try to sneak it around the hidden side of Golden Wall. But it looks like Nyb is scheduling an attack to take place long before that Condor gets anywhere. Seriously, man, I think the bio should get out and push. They can walk faster. Nyb is significantly behind on army here, but it really doesn't look it right now. I think he's gonna go around the defense wall, ignore the gold, and go for the third. He's gotta go around wide though, or Azure's just gonna catch him. Nope, it's not happening. Azure's pretty entrenched here. Can Nyb use his observer to figure this out? Oh, he's just gonna blink right on him. Bonus damage to armor. The TR-17s just rip apart. Oh, suddenly this is a huge opportunity for Nyb to catch up on army. He's resetting the TR-17 count. Azure's trying to adapt by sending in Ruth tanks instead. They slightly outrange the stalkers and they do bonus damage against armor. Oh, and I think the Condor is gonna make itself known. It's gonna land and just kind of park there. Maybe see if the reception on the FM radio is any good. Okay, here's the unload. The bio are inside the Toss main. Meanwhile, Nyb is taking control of the battlefield. He's taking the lead on army size. It's a comeback, but it might be a hollow one if Azure hollows him out. Looks like only 2 probes were actually lost. The rest have been pulled to the natural. But Azure gets the forge. Nyb with a great angle to kill the 3rd here. There's a ton of electrostatic defense turrets there, but they're all set up to defend against a drop. Nyb fails to clean up. He's got to do another warpin. Azure's gonna get greedy and try to see if he can kill the Nexus. Zealots are waiting for the leg upgrade to finish. They can't wait. There's a shield battery to help. Does Azure have enough steam to press the attack? No, Nyb gets the cleanup. But the Condor drop did do some good economic damage. Oh, and I missed it, but Nyb's attack has been wiped out. Both sides hold as a result. Azure's hurting for workers, Nyb's hurting for army. Nyb traded his army to get that headquarters. Pretty even on resources lost, 21 dead stalkers. Sounds like Zerg fanfiction. Oh, Azure's gonna start up a 5th. Since he's rebuilding at the same time, I guess he's double expanding. Oh, there's definitely something in the water. Nyb's gonna expand to the top right as well. The upgrade situation favors Nyb ever so slightly. He's +1 attack, +1 armor. His opponent is just +1 attack. Big armor move out by Azure. This is a good call. He's way up on army. Archons, that's not usually what you think you want to use against mech. Oh, Nyb has a bit of a gas glut. That might be why. Azure's gonna use that Raptor to get vision over that high ground. Nyb doesn't know how badly he wants to snipe that. Shield battery's gonna help keep those Archons alive, but it's the speed lots that are really in there doing the damage. He does get the Raptor. Azure loses his high ground vision. No, the TR-17 fires a starburst and immediately gains vision up top. Very quick thinking by Azure, but that is also way too good, isn't it? The TR-17 provides its own vision source. Imagine a Terran tank that could see high ground. It's the first time I've ever actually seen that used, so I don't think it occurred to me just how good that is. Oh, backdoor expansion by Nyb. When you mine out those mineral patches to the south, you can do that. There's an upgrade for those Ruth tanks called Unobtainium Armor Plating. It gives the Ruth tank +2 armor and extra 75 health. Azure does not have it, and I think it would be extremely useful. I guess I'm suggesting he should obtain Unobtainium. But if you obtain it, is it still unobtainable? That is heavy, but perhaps not as heavy as the damage being done to his expansion. Here comes the Zealot Horde. This is how we cleaned out mech back in my day. Cheap Zealots closing the gap. The Ospreys will be more useful than the Raptor jets, but I don't know if they'll fare too well against the Stalkers. But they can still make pests of themselves if they get in the right spots. They just can't go toe-to-toe with the Stalkers. Nyb's also making a Void Ray. We've got our first Protoss air here. Let's see how that works. Should be fast enough to deal with the Osprey, and it'll be pretty good against the mech that can't shoot up. That includes the Ruth tanks and the TR-17s. But that help's gonna need to get here before he loses all his bases. The Protoss income is dropping fast here. Here comes the cavalry. Can they finally squash this attack once and for all? Nyb's actually getting +1 attack for that Void Ray, though he's not making any more. He's gonna save that Nexus. Break time's over, probes. Azure's making Raptor jets again. That's gotta be in reaction to seeing that Void Ray. That backdoor expansion really helped keep Nyb in this. Nyb's gonna try to see if he can counter and get some return damage. The problem is, despite his victory, he's still got the smaller army. It's still just the one Stargate. I don't think we're seeing a significant Protoss air transition here. Hold it! That's a Dark Shrine going down. Perhaps this is a when behind Dark Shrine situation. Right now, Azure's not rocking a lot of detection other than his electrostatic defense turrets. Oh, we've got another potential for slow motion drop action. There's another Condor on the field loaded with bio. Osprey sneaking around the top. Azur wants to try to see if he can break his opponent with multitasking. He can see that the Protoss is starting to get some really good army-to-army exchanges here. And Nyb has recovered economically here. He's actually over 92 workers. And he's rebuilding the Nexus he lost. The Condor drops the troops on the other side of the Golden Wall. That's the way I think it should be done. I don't think you should bother to carry them all the way. It's just too slow. Nyb warps in a big round of Zealots. I think he's getting ready to go on the attack here. He's halfway to getting his +3 attack. Oh, the sight blockers are letting those armies get really close to each other. But the Raptor jet gives Azur some intel. Oh, the blink for it. Oh, he just about got it. It's actually going to be Azur who's the aggressor. He's going to try and attack in 3 places at once. This is an observer's nightmare. Osprey takes down the photon cannon. 2 very healthy armies meet in the center of the map. Zealots on the tanks. The Archons are faring a lot better than I gave them credit for. Army supplies are tumbling like falling bricks. Both players are going to reinforce this. They want it. Azur's got incinerators out in the field there. Those are essentially fire bats. Nyb's going to pull back. Azur's going to hold. That Void Ray's untouched with 5 kills on it. He might want to add a second one. Either Azur did better in that battle than I thought he did, or he just reinforced a lot faster. But either way, he's coming out of this with the bigger army. Nyb is in a lot of trouble. And if you're wondering what happened to the troops that Azur slipped over the Golden Wall, it looks like they actually came back and participated in that big fight in the center of the map. Given how close that was, that might have been the right call. But Nyb's backdoor expansion is really vulnerable to something like that. Azur gonna pick up another base. Nyb's had a probe camping out there forever, so he's gonna definitely know that's happening. Lots of electrostatic turrets ringing most of Azur's bases. And now he's putting them in the center of the map. He's building. I think this is going to be a split map scenario. Oh, we could be in for a real treat if that happens. Condor's going to try that drop action again. A full 12 bio units inside. Maybe we'll get a chance to see what incinerators can do to probes. So the reason I get excited about a split map potential is years ago I cast this awesome game on Golden Wall with a Protoss player, Bud Always. One of my all-time favorite players because of his off-the-wall creative strats. Anyways, they almost mined out the map in the split map scenario, and it was one of the very first games where the tectonic destabilizers entered the Protoss meta. An upgrade that had been ignored for quite some time. Here comes the Condor. He's coming in slow motion. A lot of juicy probes right there. The cannon's getting some shots off. The Condor's got a mighty 350 hit points, but it was already injured before this flight. It has to land to unload. It does. Its hit points are extremely low. The cannon at the main gets it, but remarkably, when a Condor dies, its payload survives. That is a pretty sweet feature. A Tempest is gonna come over and try to participate in the cleanup. 9 Zealots warping in. That should do it. So the Condor costs 200 minerals, 50 gas, and 4 supply. And it actually has the massive type. Oh, Protoss is just breaking down here. Azur's death by multitasking is starting to show some dividends. Nyb, though, still has the economy. He's actually got over 100 probes working here. He can lose like 20 and still be okay. He just might, though. Those Ospreys are going to work. Defensive Stalker warp in. Azur's really got Nyb on his heels right now. Oh, by the way, that thing where the Condor releases its payload if destroyed, that actually works even if it's destroyed in the air, even if it hasn't landed. Where is that Tempest? He needs to deal with that Osprey. Oh, Nyb's actually making disruptors now, and he's getting warp prism speed. I think he wants to do some drops of his own here. It seems like forever ago, but recall that Nyb actually opened up with an immortal drop. Azur's trying to catch up to Nyb on the numeric upgrades. Protoss has been enjoying that top 3-3 tier for a while. Let's see if the Tempest and Disruptor can change the fortunes for Protoss. Nyb's converging in the center of the map looking to stage another attack. Azur's coming to meet him. Azur's added the A6 to his composition. That's an anti-air unit. The Void Ray no longer gets a free pass. Nyb swings north. He's gonna smash this APL base. He's gonna get some high ground too, but he's gonna weaken his army a little bit before the big fight. He's also got a classic Zealot run-by going on at the top left here. And they've killed a lot of workers. Oh, the combined impact of this has really hurt Nyb's economy. Headquarters goes up in flames, but Azur is gonna crush that army, and Nyb is gonna have to be left rebuilding once more. I didn't see that Nyb got any Novas off in that fight, but he's gonna double down on his disruptors anyway. He's making more of them. They are certainly effective against packed death balls. Nyb gonna double expand behind this. Nyb squeezing every last piece of juice out of his stalkers. He's running around killing every extra worker he can. The mobility of the Protoss blink. Oh, we are so close on resources lost. It's almost dead even. And we're technically even on supply. Or we were a second ago. My point is these guys are giving us a really good game here. Oh, I think Azure missed that warp prism. He went right by it. Nybe's gonna be able to warp in more zealots and kill that base all over again. Oh, he's definitely thinking about it. Oh, Azure's looking to build a solitaire. He's gonna give himself an upgrade from those electrostatic defense turrets. But if you remember, you actually have to stick a troop inside in order for that turret to work. Oh, I think we saw some Novas go off there. The disruptors are having an impact. And here comes that zealot warp in. I'm afraid we're not gonna get to see a solitaire in action after all. This hurts Azure. He's already down half the workers that Nyb has. He does not have bases on the other side of the Golden Wall. These top bases are his freshest one and his most valuable. He's got to pull his army to respond to this, but his death ball is not exactly fast. There, he's gonna try to do it with just his bio. I think incinerators are good against zealots, and if not, he's got a Z1 in there. But by the time he gets there, there's gonna be nothing left to save. But he will save his other base, which he's trying to rebuild. I don't know, the economic damage has been really substantial here. Azure's at risk of mining out. Maybe not, because he doesn't have a lot of workers to do the job right now. Oh, he's found the warp prism that caused the problem. No doubt he regrets letting this guy slip past by him in the first place. Okay, so Protoss has triple the economy now, and they're equal on army size. And Nyb is just living life large on the south side of the wall here. And as I say that, Azure's trying to get in on the action too. He's starting his first backdoor base. Nyb's got a probe back there, so he's gonna know that's happening. Azure's gold base is just about mined out, but the good news is that gives him easy access to the south. Nyb knows he's got the advantage. He's looking to press it. That is a lot of disruptors. That's either his victory or his undoing here. He needs to get those Novas off. He does. The TR-17s aren't moving, and they go right up. Protoss smashing through. Archons laugh at electrostatic defense turrets. They barely tickle. I'm made of electricity, you fool. Azure trying to do some counter damage on the top north right. But Nyb has the money for the defensive warp in. But does it buy Azure time to get his economy back up? Shield battery overcharge. Yes, Protoss has toys too. And that was Azure's army. It's a GG. And that's gonna mean we've got a victory dance we haven't seen in a while. Check this out. Okay, is it just me, or is that immortal in the victory dance behaving totally inappropriate? I probably should have noticed that before. Okay, so Nyb won this game when he choked off two of Azure's most valuable bases and injured his economy. Nyb then won a critical fight in which he dominated at the end using a disruptor horde. In the good old days, I used to show videos with slow motion replays of disruptor hits. I'm excited to have a bit of a throwback here. Check this out. This is 6 different Novas all at once. A credit to Azure that he actually attempts the dodge. But that's not the T-17's forte. They turn into a game of pickup sticks, and from there the Protoss is just gonna steamroll its way to victory. But odds are good you came here to hear about the APL, so let me leave you with a few comments on the Atlantic Powers League. First, I learned that the mighty Condor doesn't lose his loaded units when he blows up. I'll be honest with you, my initial reaction was that the Condor was simply OP. You can charge a line of turrets and drop 12 bio units behind it for the mere price of 200 minerals and 50 gas. But I've kind of chilled out after reflecting on it some more. This is a dropship that doesn't heal units, it doesn't have boosted speed, it doesn't teleport anyone or anywhere, no bells, no whistles, and it's incredibly slow, like really slow. Not losing its payload is the Condor's one trick, and I can live with it. I really doubt we're gonna see this overly abused. Second, I also learned from this game that the T-17 now shoots its own flare to get its own vision. I'm curious as to whether that's a recent change or I just totally missed it when I first started playtesting them. I thought the APL needed the car unit to fire the flare. This, I feel like a skilled player could really take advantage of. A T-17 could park at the base of the cliff of the enemy main, fire up a flare, and then start blasting away at their opponent's buildings. Tanks already do this, but they at least need Comstat or a spotter to pull it off. Oh, one more thing. How on earth did a single electrostatic defense tower hold off 2 stalkers and an immortal? I'll tell you how. In the cast, I talked about how the comm station used the direct link ability to buff the turret's attack speed and range. But in actuality, Asur's micro is even more impressive than that. It happened so fast I missed it, but he also used the nanite repair ability. The drones have the ability to sacrifice themselves and heal a targeted mechanical unit for 500 hit points over 3 seconds. That's what happened here. Mechanical unit includes turrets. Here, I got you covered with the slow-mo zoom. I thought the drone got killed by the stalker, but he didn't. It was a nanite repair. You can see the turret's health actually going up. And Nyb's like, oh crap, I can't deal with this. He's getting out of there. I know it's cray-cray that the weakest turret holds off an immortal, but that was a lot of micro. Lastly, before I go, I need to quickly quell a certain internet rumor that just doesn't seem to want to die. It's this one. No, I'm not Bob Odenkirk. If I was, I'd be driving a better car. I mean, I wish I was Bob Odenkirk, but I think the sad truth is the only thing we have in common is that we both have overworked vocal cords. Anyways, so that's it. From my base to yours, Zugswang out.